Political Killings Task Team accused of gross human rights abuses at Madlanga Commission. US drops South Africa from G20 and brings in Poland for 2026. And pay back the money, Jacob Zuma, to repay millions of rands in legal fees. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
South Africa out, Poland in. The US has moved quickly to reshape next year's G20, replacing South Africa and insisting Pretoria won't be invited to a single meeting under Washington's presidency. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has repeated the decision, tying it to a string of accusations against South Africa. Pretoria's response: it'll sit out the entire 2026 G20 cycle and return when the chair moves to Britain in 2027.
The United States has said that South Africa will not be invited. We have not seen that in writing yet. We've just heard the media publications. We are yet to receive it in writing, and we will deal with that when it comes. We are, as South Africa, a fully fledged member of the G20, and we have held a very successful G20, and this is not only being said by us, it is said by many, many other people around the world, saying that South Africa's presidency of the G20 was a very successful G20 process, and the declaration that was adopted is also a forward-looking declaration which will help to lead to many changes around the issues that we identify. So as South Africa, we can know for ourselves as a country that we held a successful G20. What happens going forward are matters that we will deal with.
And while South Africa is pushed out of the G20, the US is tightening its grip on the continent. Today, President Donald Trump has been hosting Rwanda's Paul Kagame and DRC President Felix Tshisekedi for a deal he says will bring peace and give the US access to DRC's critical minerals. But fighting in eastern Congo continues, with the Rwanda-backed M23 still advancing despite a June ceasefire. The Madlanga Commission has heard fresh claims of gross human rights abuses by members of the Political Killings Task Team. Suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu returned to the stand this afternoon, explaining why he ordered the PKTT shutdown last December.
Senzo Mchunu has conceded that he broke protocol in issuing the instruction for the disbandment of the PKTT. When questioned by Commission Chairperson Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, Mchunu confirmed he took the decision without any consensus being reached by police management.
Who is the functionary that would have been best placed to brief you? That's a very simple question, Minister, please.
It is the National Commissioner.
We all know that you took the decision without asking him to brief you on whether the PKTT should be disbanded. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mchunu will resume with his testimony tomorrow morning. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Also today, suspended EMPD head Julius Mkhwanazi received at least 70,000 rand from tender boss Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. Mkhwanazi admits taking the money, saying he received even more, insists it was help from a, quote, blood brother, not a payoff. He signed off agreements allowing Matlala's security and medical vehicles to use blue and red lights.
The first is paid by CAT Protection and Security Services. The date paid is 5th May 2022, an amount of 20,000. The second is by Medicare 24 Tshwane District, and the date is 18 June 2022 for 20,000. The last is Black AK Trading and Suppliers Pty Limited, and that was on the 10th of December 2022 for 30,000.
Jacob Zuma has to pay a whopping 28.9 million rand in state-funded legal costs. He's lost his bid to appeal a ruling that found he personally benefited from years of taxpayer-funded defense, including his corruption and arms deals cases, and must repay the money with interest. At the same time, the state prosecutor in the arms deal matter has moved to stop what he calls 2 decades of delaying tactics. Zuma and French firm Thales are back in the Pretoria Magistrates High Court, seeking leave to appeal a ruling that refused to drop the charges. Since 2005, Zuma has filed 8 interlocutory applications and Thales 4.
Now, you can't stop the accused from bringing further such applications. They are entitled to bring whatever applications they will, but what one can do is to refuse to delay the trial any longer, merely because there are such applications pending. And that, my lord, is the purpose of this application, is for the court to direct that the trial must go on, regardless of whatever pending applications for leave to appeal there might be in the background.
Badly trained police are still being deployed into sensitive situations, and the South African Human Rights Commission's latest findings show the consequences. At Walter Sisulu University, a peaceful sit-in over transport and accommodation turned violent after private security fired rubber bullets and pepper spray, forcing students onto the N2 on the 15th of April 2025. 14 students were injured and 1 was killed. In a separate incident on the 27th of May 2024, several students were hurt when police fired rubber bullets during another confrontation. The Commission found that officers sent to the scene were not trained for public order policing, and medical and ballistic evidence indicates that live ammunition may have been used.
Although we acknowledge that this incident happened outside of the court precinct, so the Department of Justice would not be the department responsible for ensuring the safety, it does require that the South African Police Service in the Western Cape intensify their patrols and other security measures around court buildings.
Deputy President Paul Mashatile is keeping his leadership ambitions to himself as the ANC's succession race picks up speed. Speaking to Parliament's press gallery, he ruled out President Cyril Ramaphosa failing to finish his term and said next week's National General Council is not the place to discuss future leaders.
2 weeks ago, President Cyril Ramaphosa called out those allegedly seeking to oust him at a National Executive Council meeting, saying they should set him a departure date. Today, his deputy, Paul Mashatile, dismissed suggestions that he's waiting in the wings to step up even before the next elective conference, which is still 2 years away.
The president is going nowhere, stay and continue to lead.
Asked whether he thinks he's a fit and proper person to succeed Ramaphosa, Mashatile said it was premature to discuss his merits. Mashatile says the party's focus is the local government elections, whereafter ANC branches will begin leadership deliberations. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
This time tomorrow, either Dada Morero or Loyiso Masuku will hold the most powerful position in the ANC's biggest region. Morero's 3-year term ends today. Branches have been gathering in Sandton, Gauteng to elect new leadership. Outgoing chairperson Morero says revenue collection has been declining since 2016, leading to unauthorized spending and mounting debt as the city failed to collect from households and businesses. He says the new leadership will have to confront these challenges head on.
Our challenges are complex and they need complex solutions. You have a responsibility to give us leaders who can handle these challenges and deliver the results.
And don't forget to download the EWN app if you want to keep up to date with all the news headlines. Thanks for watching.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.